Hello, my name is Gaute Espeland. In a series of videos, I'm going to show you how you can build Homeseer Touch graphics with simple tools like PowerPoint and Paint.net. In this first video, we are going to build a 3D tab dialog like this, where you can change between the tabs by pressing on these icons. We're going to use PowerPoint solely. And first we're going to configure PowerPoint to show some tools that is normally not visible in the tool strip. Then we're going to build some 3D objects and arrange them into a tab dialog like this. Then we're going to export the slides into graphic files of type PNG, one file for each slide. PowerPoint has the possibility to export slides into separate graphic files. Then we need to set up the slide size correctly, so it will produce the correct size in pixels. So for an iPhone, this is the correct size for the slide, and for an iPad, this is the correct size to produce the 1024 times 768 in pixels. You may want to write down these numbers. With the exported graphic files, we're going to import them into Homeseer Touch Designer, place some icons on the tabs to be able to trigger the changing of the screens, and then test the whole thing in the Windows client. So let's get started. We open a new project. Before we do anything else, we should configure the correct size for the slide. I'm going to produce backgrounds for an iPad, so the correct size for me would be 27.1 times 20.32 in centimeters. The tools we need, we want to put them into the ribbon, so customize the ribbon, right click the ribbon, select customize the ribbon, select all commands. Let's place the commands into a new group like this. The first tool we need is pickup style, this one, then apply style, this one, then the two most important commands, shape union and shape subtract. Okay, here are the new tools. Let's remove the standard graphics and test out the new tools. So with the shape union, we can select two graphic objects like this and merge them into one new object. With the shape subtract, we can select the first object, then select the second one and subtract the second object from the first object, making a hole like this, or taking off part of the edge like this. To build 3D graphics, we select Format Shape, 3D Format, and select a bevel top like this. Already now you see the 3D effect is coming forward. Let's make it a little more distinct, a little higher and a little wider, and let's make the material a little shiny, a little more shiny like this. Personally, I think this looks a bit flat, so let's set up a gradient from, let's say, a dark blue to a lighter blue, and let's make the angle 45 degrees going from dark to light like this. If we now configure the background with a similar gradient, but do it the other way around, make it go from light to dark, it will make some good contrast for our graphics. We want to do one more customization of PowerPoint before we start working. If you are working with objects, aligning objects, it's very nice to set up this snap objects to other objects and turn off snap objects to grid because the grid is too coarse for us. Display smart guides when shapes are aligned is a very nice tool. I demonstrate how it works. If you have objects that you're going to move and align into other objects, you get help lines like this to tell you when you're in the middle, in the bottom, or at the top. With this tool, we can now pick up the style defined for this object and apply it to other objects like this. So let's build a tab. It will now snap into the corner and onto the edge and the tabs, something like this. Let's bring on the 3D style and put this one at the front. Let's copy this into 4 copies and place them like this, and bring this object to the front again like this. Now we have the basic style needed for our tab dialog. Before we start merging these objects together, let's make 4 copies of this slide, and then we can merge these two and bring this one to the front. Merge these two for the second slide, these two for the third slide, bring to front. It's important that you don't move any objects now while working with them. So now we have 4 slides producing 4 screens, what we needed. Before we export them, let's make the screens a little different. Like let's put on some holes here. Maybe we can use them to put some status windows for displaying the weather or something. It's important also to know that when you are making a hole in a graphic, it's not possible to move the hole because the hole is not an object. This is an object with a hole. So you may want to take a copy of this slide before you start making holes in it. Let's build another hole here. And also you can build buttons like this. I'll discuss buttons more in a later video. So for now, let's export these slides. PowerPoint has the possibility to say save as and select portable network graphic format PNG. Let's put them on, let's call it demo 1 and put them on my desktop. And now PowerPoint asks if we want to export the current slide only or all the slides. We want all the slides, and it will put it on my desktop in a folder called demo 1. Let's have a look. And the folder is here, and here we have the graphic. So let's import it into Homeseer Touch Designer. I have made ready a project with 4 screens with the correct format 1024 x 768. So we are now ready to import the graphics. But before we do that, let's select a different skin so that the imported graphic will be placed into a separate folder. I'll tell you more about working with skins in my next video. So for now, let's just import the graphic. It tells now that he's copying this into the background folder, and you see the graphic is arriving here. So this is the first screen. Let's repeat this for the second screen. And the third screen. And the fourth screen. So now we have all the 4 screens. We now need to put icons onto the tabs to be able to trigger the change between the screens. I've made ready some graphics here, which has transparent edges. I'll tell you more about how to make transparent graphics in my next video. But for now, let's just place some demo graphics into the tabs. Something like this. Let's top align them like this. All these need to be buttons that they should not ignore press, so let's open up for that. When we press them, they will turn into gray because the color pressed here is gray, so let's change that into transparent. Now when we press them, they will disappear, which is a suitable feedback in this situation that we have pressed them. So now we'll put on the commands to change the screen when we press. So show another screen by itself and the respective screen. So for this button, screen number 2. This one, screen number 3. And for this one, screen number 4. So now we have all the icons active with commands. We can now copy them, all 4 of them, directly on to the other screens, position at the same position. And they already contain the commands needed. So we are ready to go. Run Windows Client. Here it comes. And pressing this one brings up this screen, pressing this one brings up this screen, pressing this one brings up this screen, and back to the first screen. So this is what we're set out to do. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to work with graphics and transparency. So stay tuned.